Good evening, everyone. Rupert, thank you for filling in for Jeff tonight. I think everybody that's watching the show has seen you on World Awakening, but isn't this your first time on Soul School?
I've lost track of whether I've been on Soul School or not. I think I was on here once before.
Oh, were you?
I think I was, but it's a pleasure to be asked to come back in and fill in for Jeff. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and thank you. And for everybody that's watching, who know and love Jeff, his dad had to have heart surgery. He's at the hospital in the ICU with him. He's doing extremely well, and Jeff is there taking care of his dad. And, that's really what it's all about. So I couldn't ask for, at the risk of being accused of being obsessed with you, Rupert, and maybe I am just a little obsessed with you because you are just so brilliant and beautiful and a bright light in the firmament. I am obsessed with your message.
Yes.
It is so closely akin to my own. And so Soul School is a perfect place for you, as is a World Awakening. And I think you have a little announcement to make before we start our class tonight.
Well, yeah, I have just been told by Bill that 2nd of November is when my show begins. So 2nd of November at 6 p.m. ET, and I love that it's ET.
Yes.
I think that's very appropriate, Eastern time.
Absolutely, yeah.
And my new show is Galactic Wisdom. And so, that's 2 weeks from about 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, and next week, Erin and I will be in Rhode Island. Yes. Next weekend, I'll be in Rhode Island. No, I'll be in New Jersey next Friday night is where I'll be. Oh my God, I can't even keep up. And so I am happy to announce that you will be Jeff's co-host on Soul School, and you will also be hosting a World Awakening. So your Friday night, your dance card is full for next Friday night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's going to be fun. But I'm so happy to be here with you today. Yeah, we've got 2 hours to talk. This is good. We can get through some stuff.
Yes, we can, and it'll only be like a 6-minute break between shows, just enough time for everyone to go refresh the drinks. I'm doing strawberry lemonade tonight. So good for cleansing the palate. We just had a very late dinner. We worked we worked so hard today. I think there are 2 boxes left inside the house. And tomorrow we do the barn and the garage, and then blow sweet kisses goodbye to Winter Garden. But when you come down, I'm going to drive you up and show you the town that I lived in for years, like 7+ years that I lived there. And it's absolutely lovely. And I made wonderful friends there, and our neighbors are our friends. And so I'm going to give you a tour. And then the big promise, and everybody out there can hold me to it, is that I'm taking you to Cape Canaveral and the Kennedy Space Center, and your mind will be blown away. So that's something to look forward to. Yes.
Fantastic. I'm excited about that.
Well, you're a space scientist,
Yeah. I mean, I'm a qualified space scientist and technologist. I learned at university how to design spacecraft. In fact, I designed a ship called Starship long before SpaceX, and it was a design that made it into one of the newspapers in England. Futuristic design to take us to one of our nearest stars. That's what I was doing at university. Yeah, so to be able to go to Cape Canaveral or Kennedy Space Center watch a launch, that would be so exciting.
It would be. Well, we saw one just the other night, and I don't remember, it was late when it went up, but I immediately contacted you. I'm like, oh my God, I just walked, because now I live about 30 miles closer to the Cape than I did. And it wasn't that we couldn't see the launches from Winter Garden, because of course you can see them really all over Central Florida. They split the night sky if if it's clear. And it was phenomenal. It was just incredible to watch them there. But to watch, it was a Starlink. Yes, your phone's right here.
That's my dog. Do you have my dog too?
No.
Yes,
Yes,
you do.
I do have your dog.
Sorry.
Okay, we're one big happy family. Dogs everywhere, phones everywhere, family everywhere. It's just great. This Carlene, by the way,
Hi.
our savior,
Hey, Colleen.
house to move into. God bless her heart.
Sorry, Bobby.
No problem, sweetheart. So yeah, no, people are used to this on my shows, really. I mean, one night my mother came walking out. My mother, who requires a wheelchair, came walking out of her bedroom, very wobbly, hanging onto walls and furniture, because she decided that Sammy, our little dog, had to go outside. And I'm on my phone next to the computer. Bill will laugh. I know he's laughing. I'm waiting for an LOL in the private chat. And I'm like, I'm going to have to leap up from this computer and cut my mother off at the pass before she opens that door and stumbles down into a cement carport. Oh my God. And I'm on my phone, on my text message to my sister, help, HELP, all caps, help, mom. Oh my God, what a night, what a night. I'm like, that's it, I'm canceling my shows. I can't do this. I cannot do this. But by the next morning, I was perfectly fine. And Chris was right there to, catch mom, head her off. Yeah, but life, and it's life, and it's life. It's just how it is. But yeah, tonight, we start the show every week with classes in session. And my attitude about this in recent weeks is class is never out of session. It's just never out of session. We just do this period of the soul school for almost an hour every Friday night. And I ask everybody, sit at the head of the class, bring your notebook, scribble, with your little pencil, make notes, but more than anything, feel what we're doing. Because I have every reason to be a raving maniac right now. I have every reason to be a lethargic slug dragging herself across the frozen tundra. And yet I'm not. And I think that it's because, and you and I have discussed this privately too, that I think that, a very, very large black cloud parked itself right over the south end of Lake Apopka, where I used to live. And it rained for 90 minutes, and it dumped a foot of rain. And the water table was too high. We're right there on the lake, like 300 yards from the lake. And it had no place to go but inside the house. And so our 7-room house has 3 rooms now that are completely decimated. Walls torn out, floors torn up, all the beautiful tile gone. Going in there now makes me so sad, because I remember what it was like not long ago, 5 weeks ago. It was an absolutely lovely place. And even though I had not lived there in 10 months, I hadn't been back because of caring for my mother while she is in hospice palliative care. And we promised her long ago that she would never, ever have to worry about going into any kind of a facility, that we would keep her home and take care of all of her needs when that time came. And that time is here. And so Christine and I have been doing that. And I run off for a weekend here, and I run off for a weekend there. I ran off and met you in Kansas City in April, I believe, last April. And interestingly, we watched the Starlink go right over us. Do you remember that night?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got that on video somewhere.
Yeah. Yes, you do actually. Um, and then last couple of nights ago, I got to stand in my new backyard and watch the launch of the Starlink satellites on a rocket.
Yeah,
And you could see all the flames shooting out the back of it. And it was a perfectly crisp, clear, dark night, no clouds. And it was so bright that it dimmed the stars. And I was like, I wish Rupert was here to see this. This was so great. But you will have your chance. I promise you, you will have your chance. We'll have to check the schedule of launches. They go up pretty frequently.
yeah,
But I was close enough to hear it. And
yeah,
that was the difference.
yeah,
To feel that rumbling and the
yeah.
like that visceral, where it shakes your sternum, we could feel it. And we're all standing out in the back going, oh my God. It was amazing. So, okay, so class is in session. And welcome all of you to Soul School. And thank you for putting up with my crazy schedule and my crazy animals and my crazy family. And I present Rupert Guy to you tonight, which is my privilege and my pleasure to welcome you to the show, even if it's the second time that you've done it, because I don't remember. So yeah, you're starting your new show, Galactic Wisdom, on November 2nd, and that is fantastic. I know that it's going to be an extraordinary success because everything you touch just turns golden with galactic light. It is who you are. It is how you are. And I'm just so thrilled, humbled to know you. Truly, I am humbled to know you.
Well, thank you very much. And it is, it is what you said earlier, our message that gives us this connection. It is our mission is the same.
Mhm.
And I define my mission through my vision of the future. My vision is, as you've heard before, Andrea, universal peace, universal love, universal happiness. And we essentially, our missions, our visions are not just compatible, they are they're in harmony with each other.
Mhm.
And that is why we connect on such a spiritual level. So, when I feel like I've always known you, I think you feel like you've
Exactly
known
the
me a
same.
long time, because
Forever.
our spirits are fulfilling that mission. And people we meet who have the same vision, they feel the same way.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm just so excited that we have this union, this partnership that is bright and strong, and it is our intention to just keep growing that stronger and stronger and brighter. And that's what my show is all about, Galactic Wisdom.
Well, one of my ulterior motives for, I know I've had you on A World Awakening more than any other guest. I like a very eclectic mix of people. I bring in lots of different folks from various spots underneath the very large paranormal umbrella. But I feel that it is particularly important right now. I do honestly feel a sense of urgency,
Yes.
a sense of a disturbance in the force, a sense of a very present paradigm shift, which is occurring. And I feel like we are on the precipice.
Yeah.
And we need to take a few steps back, which is actually what has been suggested of Israel before going in and leveling Gaza, which, you know, after what these people just went through, there are not that many people on the planet that would say they weren't entitled to do it. However, wisdom, which is born of experience, would lead someone who was really thinking this through to ask some very pertinent questions. What does this do to solve the problem? What is the crux of the matter with humanity, that we make war instead of peace? You know, I am a student of history. I'm also a student of political science. I have been since childhood. Absolutely fascinated by it. And I think that there are times when, although some would beg to differ, I don't delineate much between geopolitics and exopolitics. I know that our galactic family is watching everything that is going on this planet. They are keenly aware of our proclivity to make war, and to savage each other in a variety of ways. You know, the depths of human depravity. Just when you think you've seen the worst thing you could ever see in your life, you see something that's worse. And that's what we've all been dealing with for the last couple of weeks. And it has suppressed and depressed and oppressed the spirit of so many people who feel helpless and hopeless to affect any positive change in the world. So between Soul School, where we're going to start this conversation, and a World Awakening, where we will continue it, I would like to ask you if you would, during a World Awakening, if you would do what we did together on Wednesday night, which is a world peace meditation, to bring everyone back to, you know, our internal compass is just spinning. It's just skewed. But we all need to get back to true north and feel peace within ourselves, because I think that when we accomplish that we put it resonates with others, that it lifts everyone up that is within sight of that or within touch of that. And I don't know anyone who does it better than you do. I don't.
Thank
And
you.
I know a lot of people, like a lot of people who practice meditation, who, you know, do guided meditations for groups and so on and so forth. I have never gotten so lost in thought and word as I do when you do that. So if everyone who's watching us in Soul School will stick with us through a World Awakening and has not yet experienced what you are capable of doing in terms of taking people to a higher level of consciousness, then I hope that tonight is that night for them, and that they can feel that internal peace that helps to heal the world. Why don't you talk about what you do, how you developed your approach or technique, or, you know, just talk about it.
Well, as you said, I am guiding the meditation, and I do a whole range of different meditations. Just straight meditation where the goal is to relax ourselves, to calm ourselves, to de-stress ourselves. But from that basis of meditation, you can do a lot of different other activities. You can astrally project. You can remotely view other places. You can remotely communicate with other entities around through space and time. You can therefore do cosmic contact. You can heal yourself. You can seek healing from other beings. Another thing you can do is manifestation. Now, manifestation is using an ability that all humans have, and all humans use to some extent. They just often don't know that they're doing it.
Yeah.
That ability is to, out of all of the possibilities that lie in the next second ahead of us along the timeline, and the next second, and the next hour, and the next week, etc., we can, to some extent, psychically select or nudge our path to a possibility that we desire. And when you do that consciously, en masse, you can have a very positive impact on the planet. So I'm guiding these meditations, but at the same time, I am being guided, because we both have cosmic friends.
We do.
And they're kind of whispering in my ear and giving me ideas and insights. And I never have a plan in advance, never have a script for doing these meditations. I just go with what feels right. And they guide me, and they have guided us to connect with each other. And we have other people who were part of that guidance, and they heard and they know that this is beyond you and me, that we have been guided together. They have given me guidance. I'm guessing they've given you guidance, and they approve of what I'm doing. We do receive messages from them, and the most common message we receive is just keep doing what you're doing. We like what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through some crises. I have gone through one or two crises of, but shouldn't I be following that person or that style of meditation or that philosophy? They're like, nope, do what you're doing.
Right.
And that's how I have accelerated to in my success for bringing people together to move towards that vision that we both have. Now,
I feel better already.
I'm gonna make a suggestion to you, and this is your show, so you do what you want to do.
No, tonight it's our show.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very generous of you. I decided to watch last week's Soul School on my drive here just now, 3-hour drive to get back home.
You weren't watching The Road. You were watching Soul School while you were driving. You were
when
listening.
I say I was watching Soul School, I was listening to Soul School.
Okay.
I was listening to Soul School on my Bluetooth speaker. And first of all, I want to tell the people listening to us now, if you haven't watched last week's Soul School, go and watch it, because that was from October the 13th. And what struck me, a few things struck me, but first of all, you and Jeff, you are both very intelligent people, and you're both very wise people, very wise. So I would like to encourage people to go and watch last week's episode, because you and him, you addressed the situation in Israel and around Israel. You addressed that situation very deeply and emotionally, and you both sort of pulled yourself up out of the those very dark emotions that you're feeling in reaction to what's going on, to give some very wise and helpful insight into the situation, into the problem. What I'm going to, so first of all, everybody go and watch that. Wait until, you've watched this show and A World Awakening, then go back and watch that one. But I think one of the problems that the world is facing was articulated very clearly there. What I think we should do now is try and start articulating the solution, because we do need to give people hope, and there is hope, and there is stuff we can do. And maybe we could outline for people this evening in this show and the next show a few ideas, suggestions for what they can do to help the world.
Have at it, my darling. Brought you on here by accident? No. I spoke my piece last week, and my viewers know me and they know Jeff very well. I think they would benefit enormously from hearing your perspective on this.
Okay, thank you. So I apologize if I keep looking off to the side, but I do have some notes that I'm referring to. So I've outlined a few things that we can do. Do you call the people listening or watching, do you call them the audience, the viewers? Does it really matter?
I call them my family.
Your family.
I love them. And we have people from all over the world, most of whom I will never have the opportunity to meet. And I couldn't love them more than I do, because they gravitate to this show, to this message. And so we are like-minded. We are kindred spirits in this realm, and I love them.
That is wonderful. Your love is very, very evident and very genuine. That is so nice. Well, I am going to make some suggestions to our international family then. Number one suggestion, and do interrupt me if you want to, Andrea, and comment on any of these things, but you've brought it up already, the manifestation. Manifestation is a real psychic ability that we have.
It is.
It puts a force on what we can accomplish in our lives. Just like I can put a force on my camera if I want to move it, we can move the world through manifestation. It's not just this wishy-washy philosophy of trying to make ourselves better or calmer or heal ourselves. This is stuff that we can do to improve the world. So number one suggestion, learn how to do manifestation. The second suggestion is practice doing manifestation. And maybe in our second show tonight, I can give people a little bit of advice about how to practice manifestation. The second thing is, Andrea and myself, we are putting on, not just on these shows that we're doing, but we're putting on our own weekly world peace manifestation meditations, because we know it can be very powerful, and we just both feel like we need to do this, and we're doing it in a Zoom meeting where others can come in and be in the meeting with us as equals, in the meeting around us, in the same family. And it's only about a 25-minute, probably after we've talked, 15 or 20-minute world peace manifestation, but it's powerful, and we want to do this every week, and we want to grow our numbers. Now, this last Wednesday we did it, and we had 13 people, and those were 13 amazing, wonderful people. But we're going to do it again sometime next week. And wouldn't it be nice to have, let's say, over 100 people?
Wouldn't it be wonderful?
So who out there wants to participate in a Zoom meeting with me and Andrea and 100 other people and do this because we want to have peace and love and happiness on this planet? So how do you find out all the details about these things? Well, go to Andrea's group, the Buttercup Brigade on Facebook, which is a wonderful place of wisdom and light. Join that group. Join my group on Facebook also. It's called Galactic Wisdom. Join those two groups and join us in those meetings. And they're not just about using our power of manifestation. They are about growing the brightness and strength of our family. That 13 is going to become 100. That 100 is going to become 300, then 3,000. We are the light that is going to be so bright that we are going to spread. People are going to love it. It's going to be a wise place, a place free from any kind of darkness. We're just not going to put up with that darkness. We are going to be bright, and we're going to expand, and we're going to expand internationally, globally, galactically, and universally. That's the plan.
That's the plan. And because we have already articulated it, because that's part of the manifestation, because thoughts are things and words are powerful. And when we teamed up 6 months ago or so, I knew then I could project forward into what this will become. And I knew that I had to have someone who communicated with others in a similar way that I do. I've seen you interact with people in person at various events, and we have that same kind of magnetic draw. People see the light. They want to be in the light. They want to be the light. And so they come to the light. And it's absolutely magical. Magic being science, we don't yet understand. But it really is magical. And I remember you said something to me. It was so funny. I was not offended in any way, by the way, but one of my friends, Travis Walton, was in Kansas City, and Rupert didn't know me from a hole in the wall, and he wanted to talk to Travis, and I understand that completely. But I said, well, I'm going outside to talk to the Galactic family, and he's like, what? Okay, no, I've got Travis Walton over here. I've got this crazy woman over here. I think I should follow the crazy woman. And didn't that work out well for you, Rupert? Didn't it?
That worked out very well. I never thought I would be purposefully, consciously, intentionally leaving a room where Travis Walton is sitting pretty much by himself there, waiting for any conversation to go out with somebody I don't know and reach out to aliens. But I chose the more active choice. It felt like the right thing to do. But I did go back after that and talk to Travis some more.
I know you did. You did. Because we really kind of left him, sitting there.
I felt a bit bad.
But, it's, that was, I know it's a phrase that is overused, but everything around all of this smacks of meant to be.
Yes.
It does. It does. I really do think, I know. It's not really a matter of wishful thinking or a belief system of any kind. I know how powerful we are. And I know that essentially we are love. We are a manifestation of love, each and every one of us. And the way that I think about it is that we are the living, breathing embodiment of consciousness, of creative consciousness. You can call it God, you can call it whatever you want, but it is real and it is powerful. And, some people refer to it as the force. That's fine. I don't see the difference between may the force be with you and God bless you. I don't see any difference there. It's the same to me. But when we come together, there is power in numbers. There is. And I thought that it was so perfect that we had 13 people to start this global project. That is a very spiritual number. It's also one of my numbers. And, I'm not too deeply into numerology. Like, I haven't studied it like RJ has. Deb and RJ on Mystical Awakenings, they know numerology. I just know what my favorite numbers are. I was born on 10/10 at 10:10 a.m. 10 is an important number in my life. The number 24 is a very important number in my life. Magical, wonderful things happen around that number. And 13 is right there. Friday the 13th is always like, it's going to be a great day because here it comes. And everybody else is like, oh my God, it's a scary day. Hide your head. That's superstition. But the thing is, if you're putting out that kind of energy, every day can be that magical and mystical and wonderful and enlightening and truly illuminating. But I thought it was significant that we started with 13. And before you know it, it will be 1,300. And then it will be 13,000. And wouldn't it be so fabulous if it was 13 million? Yeah. All putting our energy together in this incredible melting pot of humanity. Yeah. Because we are one race. And I think that when we achieve a true realization of our oneness is when we begin to make our spiritual ascension, where we can travel with ease between the third and the fourth and the fifth dimension and beyond. And I was thinking about when you and I appeared together on stage at UFO Contact in Houghton Lake, Michigan, and everybody was taking pictures of us, and we looked like a blurry screen, and everything else around us was crystal clear. And I realized, finally, it hit me why we weren't in 3D anymore. And that's how cameras and cell phones photograph fifth dimension. And that's where we were. And we were there all weekend long. It was phenomenal. I can't wait to do this over and over again. We had 300 people at that event. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
We live on a planet that has 8 billion people plus. And if we're going to change this planet and life on it to be more respectful and more accepting, then we have to each start with ourselves. We have to look within. As within, so without.
Yeah. Yes. Nations or countries can be powerful. Philosophies or ideologies can be powerful. Religions can be powerful. But what is more powerful is the love that is within all of us. And our love is going to shine so brightly that our power is not going to be oppressive, is not going to take people over. It's going to draw people to us in love and in wisdom. And that doesn't mean unifying people in their beliefs.
No, not at all.
It doesn't mean unifying people in their religion. It means unifying people together in peace, in love. That's how to unify. Mm-hmm. That's what being one with others is all about.
Mm-hmm. And well, I think, I've often said that the only thing that I could imagine that could stop and silence the noise of humanity and all the vitriol and all the arguments and all the conflict would be for our galactic family to make their presence known globally all at once. And my friend George is like, are you insane? Are you insane? Do you understand? People would drop dead from the shock of it. Well, I happen to know that's one of the reasons why they haven't done it, because I think Hippocrates was probably one of them. And what was his mantra? First do no harm. And they're not here to hurt us. They're here to help us and to guide us and to love us purely. I told you the other night after we did our world manifestation for peace and meditation that it seemed to me that what you bring to the table, what you bring is a sensation that everyone wants to feel. They want to feel that peaceful and that calm. And they can't do it for us. We've talked about that ad infinitum. I always talk about that. They can't do it for us, but they can do it with us.
Yes.
They can do it with us.
Yes.
And that's going on right now. That's why when we were together, we couldn't be photographed without looking very fuzzy and 1940s TV-ish, It's like we looked blurred. We looked blurred because we weren't in 3D. Everything around us was the stage, the set, the lighting, the chairs, everything around us was material in a 3D world and photographed perfectly, but we couldn't be captured. And it was, in some ways, it was very illuminating for me to see that happen, because it confirmed what I suspected all along, was that we literally transport each other out of this realm temporarily, and then everyone gravitates and follows us out of 3D through 4D into 5D and beyond. And so in that way, they too join the galactic family, because they're in the same realm at the same time, which heightens the communication. I mean, scientifically, if you think if you beg to differ, please say so. This is, I don't speak this like, I do tend to be a little preachy sometimes. I cannot help that. But I'm not trying to be any kind of an authority figure at all. We're all learning. We're all finding our way out of the darkness into the light. Yeah. So if you have a different take on that, please share it.
No, I think people with the right message, it's okay for us to stand up and come across as a little bit preachy, because getting to the point of enlightenment and ascension, the point that is necessary in order to be able to save our species and our planet,
yes,
that requires wisdom. And wisdom is not just comprised of good intentions. Wisdom also includes experience, as you've talked about already, but it also includes morality, which is often what we feel, but it also requires some level of intellectualization of our situation. Good intentions are fantastic, but people, I mean, I heard you talking in Soul School about the Crusades. Those people that were going out killing people who didn't convert immediately to Christianity, they had good intentions.
Yeah.
They thought they had good intentions.
Yeah.
But they needed to go way further in the intellectualization of the situation. So in order for people to understand enough intellectually in order to lift themselves and humanity up to a higher level, there is learning that needs to be done. this is a lesson. This is class, as you refer to it, and you are a teacher. And I think you should be teaching. And I think people, now I don't think teaching ever involves any form of imposition or dictating, but a good teacher is just giving people the opportunity to listen if they want to listen. And I think you and me, that's what we do. We talk, we teach to whomever wants to listen.
I agree. And you were a teacher for a long time and impacted countless children. And God bless that, because, oh my gosh, it's what do we have if we don't have the next generation, and then the one after that, and the one after that? That's the hope for the future. They are the hope for the future. And I know how you inspired your kids. I know how you did. And I've done the same. I worked at a school for 10 years. And even though I was a therapeutic counselor, I was also a teacher. And I think that I always have been. I've been born to do that. And then when COVID hit, it's so cliche to say I heard a calling. I've always heard a calling toward the spiritual. And I became an ordained minister during 2020, which is interesting because Jeff walked away from being a minister. Jeff, who is a scholar, straight out of academia, he is brilliant, and he saw too much, and he started to question what he was imparting based on a very strict ideology that no longer resonated with him. So he felt fraudulent by, imparting to his congregation what he no longer believed. And that left him morally with one choice, and that was to walk away. So I think it's an interesting pairing, but in this case, having two teachers together is also likewise illuminating. I think the very, very best teachers inspire their students to think for themselves.
Yeah.
To think for themselves, not to what in so many institutions, of higher learning, it is almost like, the old phrase, garbage in, garbage out. They feed you all of this stuff. You have to memorize it, and then you have to spit it back when you take the test. But in soul school, the lesson, no, Bill, don't tell me it's 5 minutes left, because I'm just not believing that. Oh, time is irrelevant. I tell him every week, time is irrelevant, except on KGRA, apparently. But there he goes, LOL. I think that one of the messages and the mission of this show is to remind people that we're living in soul school, and we have hard lessons to learn. And the thing that's hardest is that the tests always, without fail, precede the lesson. That sucks. I hate 3D. I don't want to come back here. As beautiful as this planet is, this has been hard. And then after, I'm done bitching about that for who knows how long, when I've just had as much as I can take and my brain's exploding, and then there's a gentle rap at the door, and the door opens, and there you are. And I'm like, what took him so long to find me? I'm getting old already, and I had to wait this long, but the universe doesn't make mistakes. I had to be ready for you. I had to be wise. I had to have grown into my understanding of who you are before I could actually manifest you in form, in, of all places, Kansas City. who'd have thunk it, you know? But anyway, you know, Bill's telling us it's like practically we're like right on the edge of class dismissed, which I don't appreciate at all. But it will give me a couple of minutes to go find the link in Carlene's email since I'm using her office to do the show. So I can go find the link to A World Awakening. So why don't we just, I know, do you have any closing thoughts? I mean, he did give us
Yeah.
4 minutes. Well, now we're down to like three.
Three closing thoughts. One, join Buttercup Brigade. I can never say it. I have to
You can
stop
never
and
even
think
say
about
it.
it. Two, join on Facebook, Galactic Wisdom. Three, if you're going to come to the next session, A World Awakening, bring 2 quarters with you. That's all I have.
Oh, I know what we're going to do. I know what we're going to do. And it's not because I'm psychic. Probably a little closer to psychotic than psychic. It's only a couple of letters off. Oh, wonderful. It's been so delightful. You know, I was really, really tired before we started the show tonight. And Carlene looked at me and she said, but you're going to be with Rupert for 2 hours. We're not going to be able, we're going to have to pull you down out at 11 o'clock because you're going to be levitating someplace. And I'm already levitating. It's not even 10 yet. So ET, 10 ET. You're on California time, so it's all right. But anyway, I love you all. Rupert loves you all. We just love you to pieces. You are our family. You are our earthling family, our galactic family. You are all in my heart all the time. And I just want what's best for all of the people and the creatures of this world. And I want what's best for this world. And I know you do as well. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing and keep an eye out for our world peace meditations. We're going to do them every week. I think that this is time. We need to do this now. We do. And as I said to you the other night, let's plant the seeds and then watch our garden grow. So with that, class dismissed. See you in 5 minutes.